Hello, my friends. Nick here with your June market update for Colorado. A few things first. The Colorado market, when it comes down to like looking at the national real estate market, sometimes we're a trail market and sometimes we're a leading market. So some of the bigger cities we may trail and we may be a year or two behind what they look like. And sometimes we're a leading market where markets will trail us. So for example, there are some markets where they're still seeing multiple offers. The Wisconsin market is still very strong, and they're likely years behind the Colorado market. So our 2020, 2021, and 2022 market was incredibly strong. Sellers could expect multiple offers, selling their home for thousands, tens of thousands of dollars over list price. And buyers were, having to waive all their contingencies in order to get under contract. Obviously, that's no longer the case here in Colorado. Our market started to kind of correct and pull back in the second half of 2022, for sure in 2023 and 2024, and continues to here in 2025. We currently have the highest inventory that we've had in about 15 years here in Colorado. And so it's giving buyers some opportunities to pick up homes for good deals, and sellers that need to get out are starting to feel that pressure and having to price accordingly. So there are markets that are ahead of us. There are markets like Florida, for example, that are way past that, where they're telling their sellers to expect somewhere from, anywhere from 6 to 12 months on the market. And be prepared for that. Where we're not quite there. We're probably, average days on market is still somewhere between 5 and 8 weeks. It also depends on your price point and your location. Obviously, condition of property and things like location are still very important. So there are still homes that will sell for, multiple offers, but we're certainly not seeing the, 6, 10 offers that we're seeing maybe in 2022, 2021. So kind of the overall market standpoint is a few things. Sellers need to understand that they need to take advantage of improving what conditions they can improve. So in real estate, we use an acronym called PLACE, and that is your price, location, agent, and then your C and E are your condition and your exposure. And this is the way that your property sells. So there's a few things that you can't change in that acronym. You can't change your location is one of them, but everything else that is something you can kind of change. The other things that you can't change are, the layout of your home. You can't change maybe how many bedrooms it has unless you finish a basement. You can't change how big your lot size is. You can't change the orientation facing north versus facing south. Those are the things you can't change about your home. At one point in that 2020 to 2022 market, we always told people you don't need to worry about any of that stuff. Like your home is going to sell. You don't need to worry about even the condition of your property. Your home's going to sell. Now what we're telling people is you need to control and do the best you can in all the things you can control. So is the condition of your home, does it matter? Yes. Does your paint color matter? Yes. Do your outdated countertops and cabinets matter? Yes. These are the things that if you want to sell quickly, it makes sense to try to update the property as much as possible. So just a few quick tips for sellers that are looking to sell. Get rid of some of the easy outdated fixtures. Get rid of the old brass in your house. That means your doorknobs, your door hinges, your sink fixtures, your fans, your lights, that type of stuff. A lot of times you can change all the fixtures in your home for under $1,000 and bring that kind of updated feel to the property. So in the grand scheme of things, our sellers are having to wait a little bit longer. And so one of the things we kind of think about is like, what does your pricing look like? What does your pricing model look like? And so one of the things that we talk about is, hey, if you wanted to sell your house for, say, $650,000 today, if we were to sit on the market for 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 10 weeks, what would you be willing to sell it for then? And if that number is different, my advice would be to go ahead and list at that number right now. Otherwise, you're just going to go through the 2 months of frustration only to end up at that price point, anyway. And once your property's been on the market for 6 to 8 weeks, you kind of have that shop worn feeling, and even that price reduction may not help at that point. You may end up selling at a lower price than that anyway. So it's time to price your properties competitively. I've seen a couple instances of people that are kind of overpricing and being in a situation where they really should have never started there in the first place, and those properties are sitting. I will tell you, myself and my team, we will not take overpriced listings. So if you're wanting to price your home at a higher price point that we think will sell, we're not going to make the investment, not only the time investment and the financial investment, but just the emotional stress for both you and us on selling that home. So we won't take overpriced listings. Beware of agents that tell you what you want to hear. The reality is most homes we're experiencing at least somewhere between 25 and 30% of all homes on the market are experiencing price reductions at this point, and things like townhomes and condos are significantly higher than that. So that's kind of the seller outlook. The buyer outlook, just reverse that. It's your first time in many years that you have an opportunity to negotiate hard with your sellers once you're under contract. So it's a good time to get out. There's also great incentives from new builds. So if you're looking at maybe getting into something new build incentives are really good right now. Inventory is high. There's lots of spec homes and lots of inventory homes that are out there that can be picked up for a good price with your builders right now. So hope this is helpful. If we have any other questions that we can answer for you, we love talking real estate and we love just educating people about the market. So please feel free to reach out. Happy to have a conversation and hope all is well. Take care.